Hello, I'm Donald Leggett and welcome to Share Views, brought to you by London South East. Our guest today is Peter Levine, Chief Executive of President Energy, who have assets in Argentina, Paraguay and Louisiana. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, today you've got an RNS out, you've recently done a share placing, but first of all, let's start by summing up President Energy for us.
Well, you've actually summed up the countries where we're in. We are producing in Argentina. We've got a number of fields in Argentina. We've been there for a few years, but we've been building up. We made a recent acquisition in Argentina. So we're a producing company. We're making money both on a profit level and, of course, on a free cash level. We are also producing in Louisiana, and we're making money there as well. So every one of our producing fields, whether it's in Louisiana or in Argentina, are making money. And then we've got exploration assets also in Argentina, hence the RNS, which you just referred to, and also in Paraguay, where we've got extensive exploration interests.
Why Latin America? Why Argentina? Why Paraguay?
Well, I was previously in the company, and we were in Russia, which at that stage was thought of as slightly offbeat and also potentially risque. When we originally came into South America and Argentina, it was definitely on the left field, and it was a left field because the political situation in Argentina wasn't anywhere near like it is today, which is much better and forward-facing, Western-facing, a member of the G20 and reputable. But we saw opportunities. We initially came in there on a non-op basis, non-operated basis, in proven producing fields. We acquired the operated interest, 100% of it, and then we've recently gone to acquire a whole different set of assets, which are in the Neuquén, also producing, profitable, and now we're running a traditional business which is generating profits, generating cash, keeping our margins down, and growing through organic means, as well as certainly looking to scale up by way of acquisition.
And you've just told me, which is fascinating, that you actually ran Imperial and were part of the exit team from Imperial and made a little bit of cash out of that.
Well, that's history.
Seriously? You're not going to just... But you've rolled some of that money into your new company, haven't you?
$50 million through my family office. I have a family office. We invest in various companies through various sectors through my family office. And this was initially one of the family office investments. It was a passive investment originally. And then I decided to get involved. And I've been increasingly involved, as it were. And now, as you rightly say, I'm chairman and CEO. How long that will last, I don't know. We will have to see. But certainly, we're determined now to grow this company. We've taken a few roundabouts, as it were, gone around the wrong way. But nevertheless, now we've certainly got a route map, and that route map is what I believe is the right way forward for oil companies. Never mind, should we say, only bread today and jam in 5 years' time to monetize. We're looking at monetizing our assets right now, making money right now, and we've got certainly the capability and the determination to grow by way of acquisition in the near future.
You've just announced a share placing. Where does that fit into the overall picture of President Energy?
Well, that was simply a result of going around new non-holders and giving them the story in terms of expanding it. We've got a very loyal shareholder base at the moment, as well as myself. And as I've said to you, I've never invested, I never acquired any share for free in this company. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in free shares for anyone, for any management. Maybe that's a bit old-fashioned nowadays. Options, incentives, yes, but not free shares, not nil-paid options. And I wouldn't invest in a company which had those. But nevertheless, what I would say is that we've got the ability to grow, and we had the shareholder base, which is a relatively small shareholder base of institutions, myself, for 2%. We've got the World Bank, who, before they invest in a company, take many, many months to investigate the directors, investigate the business. So they're a large shareholder in us. We've also got companies like Schroders and JPM as our shareholders. But what we wanted to do was expand the shareholder base. And so we went on a mini roadshow with non-holders, and that very small placing, and it was a small placing, came as a result of that to allow other non-holders to come in and slightly increase the liquidity.
So why is it useful to a private investor to have such a stable shareholding as President have?
Well, our shareholders are rock solid, and that says something. I believe it says something. At the end of the day, a company should be judged by the companies it keeps and by the key investors it has and the institutions. And I like to see a spread of investors. I wouldn't want our company simply to be populated by PIs, nor would I want our company to be populated solely by institutions. There is a mix, there's a balance right. I'm not saying we've got the right balance at the moment, but on the other hand, we have got a route map to get that balance.
What about your latest acquisition at Puesto, Flores and Estancia, Vieja? Tell me about those.
Estancia Vieja, I know it's very difficult. I also found it very difficult to announce as well. These are really good assets. These are from Chevron. They're producing assets. They've got significant upside potential, which we hope to grow it. We're looking to double production from these fields within the next 3 years. They are producing 1,200 barrels a day in excess of oil. We believe there's gas upside as well. And we're very happy because they're in the Neuquén Basin. The Neuquén Basin offers the best oil price currently given in Argentina. And oil prices in Argentina are pretty stable at the moment. And that is therefore a step in the right direction. Our previous asset, or current asset, is in the north, in the Salta. That's a very good asset. We are increasing production there. We've had issues on the surface facilities which have constrained our current production, but that is, we're solving those issues now. But where we've just acquired, it's a good acquisition. We're determined that we are going to exploit that acquisition, as well as the fact that we're carrying with us a 10% holder of the provincial oil company, which is very important. We call it a roof. It's very important to have some protection there and to carry the province with us so that the province is aligned with us. That's really important.
So working with them, not against them.
Working together. And that's important. It's also important when we're wanting to expand in the province in other areas. Now, I'm not promising we will, but certainly at this moment in time, we're looking very seriously at certain acquisitions, which each of them in themselves would double, even double our existing production, which is plus or minus 2,400 barrels a day of oil equivalent.
And what was today's RNS about?
Today's RNS was actually about one of our exploration assets and activities in Argentina. The key message for us is, look, what puts bread on the table now, not what would put on the table later. And that's our producing assets. However, our exploration assets in Argentina, just announced today, and also in Paraguay, are very significant. That's a lot of excitement, which private investors like to see, as well as institutions. We believe we've got a lot of upside in our production and acquisitions there. But at the same time, we're not a one-trick pony. So we've got the base, we've got the core of a real business. We're making real money, throwing off real cash, positive cash flow. But at the same time, we've got blue sky exploration as well, realistic exploration, which we've got in Argentina, hence the RNS, and in Paraguay.
So, but life is more about the work programs and the detail for you, perhaps, is it, than the exploration into the future?
Get your foundation right. It's the devil in the detail.
Yes.
Get your foundation right. The most important thing is we're not a pure exploration company.
So what are you up to at the moment in terms of production and workovers and all the different things that you'll be doing?
Very good question. We are actually starting a workover program in that Puesto Flores field, which we've acquired, and that's starting in November, this month. We're starting probably in about 3 weeks' time. We should be contracting in about 2 weeks a rig. Oh, we've already identified the rig. We're actually going to stress test it to make sure it's working correctly. And then we'll have it on site 3rd week in November. And we're going to have a work program which will extend to the end of the year, maybe slightly afterwards.
Malky Greenwood is a bit of a fan, I think. You've been mentioned in his blog yesterday and again today. And today he described your assets as having significant value, and accordingly the shares are still very much undervalued. What's your point of view on that? That
is a comment for other people, not for me. I don't believe that chief executives or chairman or any director of any public company should say to any investor, my shares are undervalued. It's a matter for the facts to be laid in front of any investor and for the investors to make their own decision. And it's not for directors to self-promote.
That's a very interesting perspective. Do markets often get things wrong in terms of share prices? In your point of view, generally not talking about yourself?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they do. They go both ways. They undervalue and sometimes they significantly overvalue. You very rarely get a medium. The most important thing that a company can do is be transparent, give the facts out, the key facts, and then let the market to decide.
Malky also mentioned that things are coming good for the Argentinian economy. To what extent is that worked around the new president, President Macri? Is he introducing new business-friendly policies?
Oh, it's a sea change. I mean, having had an asset, albeit non-operated, when the previous president was there, it's a complete sea change, not just internally, but also the perception externally. They just issued a 100-year bond, which was 12 times oversubscribed, a sovereign bond. A previous bond was also oversubscribed and is now trading at a significant premium. The state company, it's not a state company, it's the national oil company's bonds are trading very significantly above their par value. It's seen now as very investor friendly. There are reforms underway. We've now gone from a regulated economy, moving towards now a market economy, and it truly is, in my view, and having been in Russia when it was perceived as the wrong place at the wrong time to the right place at the right time, I've got to say to you that I believe that now Argentina has got that period in the sunshine, and I think that it comes in phases. 5 years ago, perhaps, Colombia was the go-to place in South America. I may be biased, and of course I am, in terms of Argentina, because we're there, but Argentina, in my view, is the go-to place.
The oil price is currently strengthening to around $60 a barrel. To what extent is that useful for a president?
Well, it's very useful because from the 1st of October, the market went from a regulated, that's a blast from the past really, to unregulated in terms of link to Brent. So we are looking at now negotiations with the refiners, and we are expecting that the oil price will increase from November from the $55 a barrel, which it was for October, to going towards maybe step by step to Brent prices, or Brent plus maybe 1 or Brent plus 2. I can't really say what's happening. It's people who've got a much higher pay grade than me in different companies, but nevertheless, I think that that is the way it's going.
It's commercially sensitive, of course, but fundamentally it's good news.
Oh yeah, it's good news because it's incremental dollars, and if you've got you cover your base costs, which we are doing, we cover our G&A, then that's important. We don't have an office in the UK. I don't believe in it. We do have an accounting function in the UK for 2 people, but they work from home. They don't need to work from an office, an expensive office in London or elsewhere. We keep our expenses tight. One of the key things about running a traditional business is making sure that your income is preserved and your costs are kept under control. And in reality, you can call it an oil business, but it should be run as a traditional business.
And what's your outlook for President Energy then?
Well, we've got a bit between our teeth now. And I think that we're moving forward. We're moving forward organically on production. We're going to be moving forward by way of acquisition. I certainly believe that in the not too distant future. And also, of course, the exploration upside is there. But that is the cream on top of the cake. What people should look at is now a growth business on income, profitability, and cash.
Peter Levine, CEO and Chairman of President Energy, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you as always for watching.